Hello guys, good afternoon everybody. Hello there, how are you guys? Let me just, arrange bips and bops here and we can start the drill. Alright, let's just put the camera on. Hello, who do we have here? Oh, there's Lucas over here and there's Aaron as well. Hello guys, so happy to see you one more Monday. Welcome to this Twitch channel, welcome to the stream on Las Plumas de Simurg Twitch channel account thingy. What we do here is we share bits of the incredible, of the amazing story and culture of Iran and Mesopotamia. So welcome. It's for me, I'm gonna be your host, Laura. It's my pleasure to see you here. How was that for an introduction? Do you guys like it? I am trying to work on my speech. I'm trying to work on my performance, but yeah, I just think I'm making a fool of myself, basically, as usual. Hello, Claire is also here. Yeah, how are you guys? Again, I am bending the rules of streaming to my own desire, if you may, because hello Typhoon, because yes, I am sitting on my bed because today is a very chill stream. Today is a very intimate, casual streaming. I do not have a script because I do not require, this is not me bragging, is this the truth? I do not require a script to talk about what we're going to deal with today. I just happen to know the matter, the topic very well. So yeah, there's no need for scripts. I'm sitting on my bed, I'm sharing with you this amazing Monday afternoon. I actually had a very good Monday. My Monday was on point. How was your Monday? I hope it was good too. Without further ado, and because I know you guys are waiting for it, I have my tea with me. The other day I delayed the stream, I kind of forgot, I did not forget actually, but I kind of delayed a bit the introduction of my tea, and there were people reminding me, which I thought it was hilarious because that proves how bad of an influence I am on you guys, and I am pleased. So today we have tea that is called, the note over here is called peach julep, as in julep, the cocktail. I'm not sure, I'm sure, but it has Chinese sencha green tea, osmanthus, sage, oh, like in the song, do you know the song? I'll book to that later. Peach, of course, and yeah, and some flavoring. Yeah, it smells so good. Like the peach smell is so powerful and so good, and yeah, a little bit too hot yet, but I was referring to the song. If you guys are from the UK, you probably know this already, but do you know the song Scarborough Fair? Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. That one, it always reminds me that I learned those words through that song because I had no idea they existed. I mean, as you know, I am not a native English speaker, and my family does not come from the UK, like, at all. And I am very happy to see on the chat that we have Gilgamesh. Oh, thank you for the subscription, Boca Seca Twitch. Oh, here we have Reaper. Thank you so much for the subscription. So, as you guys know, the people who have subscribed to me, thank you so much for your support. You can choose to support me one more month by renewing your subscription should you be subscribed via Amazon Prime, because no problem, Boca Seca Twitch, I am happy you're here. So if you subscribe to me via Amazon Prime, it doesn't renew itself, so you have to do it. If you want to support me one more month, I will be delighted. I invite you to consider it. However, I wouldn't be here were it not for my patrons. Special hugs to my patrons of tier Murshid, who are Lucas, David, Nadim and Angel. Thank you so much for bucking me up and supporting what I do. If you are interested on supporting me on my Patreon, just take a look at it. You won't be disappointed. And also, I know guys that you here in the stream, you haven't seen this yet, but I want a round of applause to my friend Lucía, who's the person behind this beautiful, beautiful thumbnail. Every single thumbnail she makes is beautiful. She's the person, like the artistic person who makes all the thumbnails for me. But for these Shāh-nāmeh series, God, she delivered. She was requested and she delivered. It's impressive how beautiful it is. And actually I am, because, okay, side note on that, thank you, Bokaseka, clack, 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 clack. Side note on that, apart from a really good artist, Lucía is my best friend. So that is the reason behind me talking a little bit of nonsense, and she being able to interpret was actually on my mind. So yeah, exactly. Long live to las hojas del bosque. Woo, woo. I don't know if she's here. Should be. I don't know. So, are you guys excited? Are you guys as excited as I am? Because I am ecstatic. I'm feeling, the feelings are flowing, okay? My feelings are flowing inside of me, and I just cannot contain them anymore, because today we are gonna read the Book of Kings. Yes, we're gonna start the reading of this amazing masterpiece. Let me tell you, this is a world masterpiece. Exactly. We're gonna be reading live here the Book of Kings, and I cannot just wait for you to know the story behind the most famous Iranian poem ever written. But first, I think we need an introduction to this first, and maybe a little bit of an instruction, like how we're gonna do this. Like, am I gonna read? Why did I choose this one? And also, I want to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit of a story. You know, I know you enjoy a story time about this particular Shāh-nāmeh. This is my first Shāh-nāmeh ever. Like, as you can see, it's full of notes and full of post-its. This book has traveled the world. I will deal with that in a second. So, first and foremost, what is the Book of Kings and why is it so important? So, the Book of Kings, or Shāh-nāmeh in Persian, is a very, very long poem that was written and finished in 1010, in the 11th century, very early 11th century in Iran, in medieval Iran. And basically, it contains the story of the whole formation of Iran as a cultural entity, both magical, mythological, and historical, because it is based on real historical events. So, the story behind this book is that Ferdowsi, which is the author, do we have it here? Oh yeah, here we have the man. We have the man. Oh wait, my dyslexia is not helping me. Abul Qasim Ferdowsi. He was the author, the person who finally put this down into written words. However, he was not the first. So, the Shāh-nāmeh is, as I want to call it, a product. Is a very well thought product of identity, if we may. So, the thing is, back in the day in medieval Iran, you know, if you know a little bit of history, you know that Islam arrived in Iranian lands around mid-7th century, yeah, we could say like 640, 650, and then the last dynasty before the arrival of Islam, were the Sassanids. The Sassanids were defeated, and then another dynasty, in that case the Umayyad Caliphate, started reigning, and then after quickly followed the Abbasid Caliphate. So, the Book of Kings is actually based on another previous book, which is called, I'm going to just leave this one here, which is called the Shāh-nāmeh. The Shāh-nāmeh was a list of kings, yeah, so just an account of Sasanian rulers, and that document, that evidence of the Sasanian past, was the first step for the creation of the Shāh-nāmeh. According to scholars, there were at least 4 different Shāh-nāmehs before this one, but they were never finished. And if you guys were here with me, if you haven't watched this video, I recommend you to go watch it. I have a video about on 5 ideas about possible Assassin's Creed video games based on Iranian medieval history. And in that book, we talked about the Shāh-nāmeh of Ferdowsi, because this Shāh-nāmeh was started by another person, a Zoroastrian named Daghighi. However, Daghighi was killed. He was murdered. We do not know exactly by who. Some people point out to his personal servant, but we don't know for sure. And then after Daghighi passed away, the book was delivered to Ferdowsi, who was in charge of finishing it. So, this book this is a very nostalgic book, okay? This book looks back into this sort of imagine glorious, grandiose past of a land called Iran, going back to a time where Iran was, according to the poem, a big empire and a big cultural entity. You know, we always look back in the past thinking that it was better than the present we're living. And this is because the political situation in Iran by the time the Shāh-nāmeh was finished was a little bit tricky, was a little bit messy. After the arrival of after the establishment of the Abbasid Caliphate, there were few dynasties, we can call them Iranian dynasties, that were scattered here and there, and they gained power and money, especially money, to muster an army and to rise against the Arab rule. Because this is very important. The book wanted to reivindicate the presence of what was considered to be Persian or Iranian before what was considered to be Arab and foreigner. It's tricky though. We will be diving into it. And why am I doing all this previous explanation? It's because it's very important to learn how to read this book. It is very important. Some of the messages hidden inside, we're still deciphering them. In my personal doctoral research, I am working about a passage of this, and we are still wondering what Ferdowsi wanted to tell us exactly. So, if you get the whole book, if you get to the end and you finish it, you can feel these nostalgic emotions on coming back it's more like a wish. It's a wish, a hope for somebody to come back and to make the empire as big and as great as it was previously. And apparently, according to the dedication and the dedicatory and the colophon, these hopes were put in a sultan that was called Mahmud. He was the establisher of the Ghaznavid dynasty. And who are the Ghaznavids? Well, so few of these dynasties that were just rising again against the Arabs were the Buyids, the Samanids, and the Ghaznavids. The Buyids and the Samanids have a very close time frame. They share a very close time frame. But then, out of like Central Asia, very close to the border with India, the Ghaznavids rise. They rose with an enormous military power, and they basically just like they swept the Samanids out. So Ferdowsi was working for the Samanids, but he needed to change patrons and rulers, and that is the reason the book being dedicated to Mahmud of Ghazna. I'm just going to spill a little bit of weight. I'm just going to give you the tea here, because according to, correspondence and some letters, Mahmud of Ghazna and Ferdowsi did not like each other. Like, they hated each other. But of course, you could never know by reading the Shāh-nāmeh. So, basically, this is the backstory of the Shāh-nāmeh. The Shāh-nāmeh is divided in 3 parts. We have the mythical part, we have the heroes part, the heroic part, and then we have the historical part. So again, mythical, heroic, and historical. In the last part, this historical is the one that's most powerfully based on the Shāh-nāmeh, which is the Sasanian book I talked to you about. And as you can see, I cover most of the mythical part because this is what I work with, but I enjoy the other two very much. Copying the Shāh-nāmeh, the Shāh-nāmeh follows a dynastic, a dynastic index. So it follows 3 big dynasties in a list of a lot of kings. So the 3 dynasties are the Pishtadids, the Kayanids, and then the Sasanians. It is very interesting to see how they incorporated real people, as in there were there are historical characters inside here, like for example Khosrow Parviz and Alexander the Great, Iskandar. Where are you, Iskandar? I know I have a post-it on Iskandar. Yeah, here we have him. Here we have Iskandar, as in, Iskandar is the way the Persians called Alexander. So he's here too, and it's very interesting because, again, something I forgot to say, but it's actually very important. The book covers from a mythical origin of the world, the same creation of the world, until the arrival of the Arab armies, the Arab Muslim armies. However, the book has a lot of information about how actually things were seen at that time, because we have not to forget this book was written under a Muslim ruler, and Ferdowsi was Muslim himself, and there was not big of a problem with that. Religion was not a problem. Islam was not the problem. It was more a cultural thing about being Persian and being Arab, because there's a lot of Arabic people over here. Let me tell you, they are not good people. Foreigners in here are not nice people. And it also gives us a lot of perception about how other religions were seen, especially Zoroastrianism, because this book, the mythical part, contains a ridiculously high amount of legends of Zoroastrian sources. The sources are here. The stories of foundation of the Zoroastrians are contained here, and that means it was accepted. Islam does not, let me tell you something very, very important here. Islam does not persecute all the religions per se. Never. The Quran says nothing about actually chasing and eradicating all the beliefs. When you live under Muslim rule, you can have your own beliefs. However, you need to pay taxes. Like if you want to be Jewish or Christian, there's a tax. And Zoroastrians paid a tax. But they existed. Daqiqi himself, the previous writer of the Shāh-nāmeh, was a Zoroastrian himself. So that needs to tell us, that tells us that it was not a bad thing. They were not considered bad people. And they were not prosecuted and eradicated or eliminated. Yeah, they were very much blended into it. They were mingled into the cultural area. You're going to hear me say the word Zoroastrianism too much. I'm going to abuse the word Zoroastrianism, but because I work with Zoroastrianism, I am a big fan. And yeah, what else? What am I forgetting? Oh yeah, the story time I want to tell you. So this is my first Shāh-nāmeh, but I have at least over 4. I have an edition of a very beautiful new translation of by Hamid Rahmanian, but that is not exactly a Book of Kings as translated per se. It is a construction, it's like a pop-up, no, actually Zohak is a pop-up book. It's an art book, which the illustrations in that book are made combining manuscripts, like very different manuscripts that were put together to recreate these amazing images. Go check it out, it's so beautiful. Impressive. Then I have this one, and then I have few Shāh-nāmehs in Persian, one of them audio, because I like to listen to it, because I'm starting to read it in Persian. My Persian is not that great yet, but I am working on it. I am definitely working on it, and it's beautiful to read. Complicated, but beautiful to read. Also, very important. Why did I choose these translation? This is by Dick David, and it's it's published by Penguin Classics, and it is in prose. The Shāh-nāmeh was written in poetry. It's in verse. It's actually, oh yeah, here we have my pal, my friend Aaron, linking the book in the chat box. Thank you so much for doing that. And in case you want to buy it. But yeah, as I was saying, the Shāh-nāmeh originally was written in verse. It was a very, very long poem written in the Masnavi form. This Masnavi has an independent rhyme. So let me tell you, this has 60,000 verses, which makes it the longest poem ever written by a single hand in history. Like in the history of the world, this is the longest poem ever written by a single author. The Mahabharata is longer, yes, I know, but that has multiple authors, so it doesn't count. It does count, but not in this category though. And yeah, I chose this one because first, it's a very nice English translation. However, it is not complete. I don't know exactly why, but they took out some parts, like for example, Esfandiar, which is a character we will know. I'm so excited because by the end of this session, you will know all of them as I do. And yeah, they were, yeah, this is a prose. I don't know why they took these parts out. I have no idea of what happened behind the scenes, but this is a prose version. And I think for the intention, you know, for the proposal of these streams is going to be easier. It's going to be far easier to read. And there are a few translations gather around, gather around the internet. The Zoroastrian Heritage, is it Heritage? Either Iranian Heritage or ZoroastrianHeritage.com has parts of the Shāh-nāmeh that's been translated. And yeah, but I don't know about them. When I wanted to start reading the Shāh-nāmeh, this was the one I was recommended, and yeah, it hasn't failed me since then. I bought these Shāh-nāmeh when I was doing my master's, when I discovered that this was what I wanted to work with when I grew as an academic, which, by the way, I'm still doing. So, yeah, this book has opened, this is the very beginning of a lot of things for me, of my research, of the discovery of Iranian culture, of Iranian language, of Zoroastrianism itself. And I like to call it my passport because it opened many gates. It took me to a million different places, and it's come with me through these, oh my God, it's come with me through a lot of places and to a lot of different, through a lot of things. And I've always had the Shāh-nāmeh with me. This has been with me in New York, Zurich, Tehran, Madrid, London. It's a very travel-y book because I move a lot. I like to travel a lot, and I always bring the Shāh-nāmeh with me. I don't know, I like it, I enjoy it. It's my travel pal. And yeah, this says, I know this translation is far from being perfect. I am aware, I know. But yeah, I know, Bokaseka, my post-it need more books, and this is not even all the post-its it had originally. I took some of them down as I finished working with them, but I just kept it. I don't know why I do. I do this to all my books. If you are cringing by seeing these, just you don't want to take a look at my library because, yeah, you're gonna die basically. The books. If you see my books, you're gonna die. So yeah, I think because this was the original intention. When I opened this Twitch channel, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to open this tiny window on the internet of things just to bring you the Book of Kings, to read it together, to comment on it together, and to discover its magic together. Because let me tell you, the stories he contained are amazing. We have a lot of common tropes. We have love, we have revenge, we have death. Let me tell you, if I just squeeze this book, it will drip blood enough to feel like, I don't know, a tank, a pool, or even a river, because a lot of people die in miserable ways in here. But also, we have a very, very beautiful, this bonding between characters, between the natural world and the original. Yes, of course, Butcher Puff is completely correct. A lot, like a ridiculous amount of crying and drama. But we have mythology, we have war, we have comings of age, we have discoveries, betrayals. I just can't wait. And because I can't wait, we're gonna start. So this is how we're gonna do it, okay? I'm gonna open the pages. I'm gonna actually ask you guys, how do you want to do it? Because in my Spanish stream, when I do this in Spanish, what I do is I go by reading it, and this is gonna be easier because I know how to translate. I can read straight from the text, sorry. And as I am reading, I'm giving comment. I am commenting on few things about the book, like details, or just tell you side stories of it. Do you guys want me to do the same, or just to read a whole chapter and then comment on them? Or do you want the feedback and the comments as I go? Let me know as I do my first T-pose. Feedback as you go, the same as in Japan. Okay, so as I go. All right. Boy, I am excited. Okay. Whew, then we are gonna sit back. And do you guys have tea with you? Go fetch some tea, go fetch some snacks, because story time is starting. We're starting to read the Book of Kings. And yeah, oh, I also mentioned this. It has some illustrations, but they I consider them to be very ugly. I just don't like them. And also, on my blog later on, there's going to be a follow-up to this reading session with all the characters that we will be covering and what they do. So if you want to check that one later, I will put links either like down in the description box or on Twitter. So you can guys check and not be lost, because there's a lot of characters in here, and I understand it's not easy to follow. I don't know these by heart. I know some bits of it very well. Some of them I remember, and some of them I just don't remember at all. So we'll discover them together, which is very exciting. And yeah, so the first part, remember, we're starting with the mythical part, the mythological part. And in this mythical part is where the higher amount of Zoroastrian legends and tales are gathered. This book is also constructed in something very interesting, not just written sources, but oral tradition. Oral tradition is fundamental for any culture, and especially in Iran, because there's a lot of tales and a lot of legends. We only have them because of oral tradition, and they're very difficult to track, but we know they existed, and it's just amazing. Sorry if I get a little bit of emotion here. I am very fond of this book. I am emotionally attached to it and to its content. So yeah, I'm driven. I'm buying all of this. I love that this is happening. So prepare yourself. We're starting the Book of Kings, the first kings. We're starting with the reign of Kayumars. What does the Persian poet say about the first man to seek the crown of world sovereignty? No one has any knowledge of those first days unless he has heard tales passed down from father to son. Here, oral tradition, very important. This is what those tales tell. The first man to be king and to establish the ceremonies associated with the crown and throne was Kayumars. So who is Kayumars and why is he so important? Kayumars' original name was Kayumard, and he was the first man ever created according to Zoroastrianism. The speciality about Kayumard is that he's king of the mountain. Like, there's this beautiful scene in the Shāh-nāmeh of Tahmures of the court of Kayumars, and he's sprouting from the mountain itself. The mountain gives birth to Kayumars, and that makes him to be very, very strictly connected to the natural world. This is a king that has power of the natural forces. This is a very, very important character. And of course, I am not hiding my preferences. I never had. So no, I'm not going to be doing anything different. So we love Kayumars. We like Kayumars a lot. I love Kayumars so much. When he became Lord of the world, he lived first in the mountains, where he established his throne, and he and his people dressed in leopard skins. All right, so here we have the first court, the first ever status on an estimate of anything remotely similar to an organization as a kingdom was in the mountain, in the wilderness, in the natural world, where we belong. I mean, we came from here. There's no Adam and Eve or that bullshit in this book. No, we came from the mountain, and to the mountain we belong. And then Kayumars says that they dressed in leopard skins. Leopard, especially the white leopard, the snow leopard, is such an important animal for Iranian folklore. Super important. Their significance is, you know, a little bit of a classic. Power, might, royalty, virility, strength, and so and so and so. But you're going to see a lot of heroes and a lot of important characters using either skins of snow leopards or owning snow leopards. So yeah, important details over here. It was a thank you for the follow. It was he who first taught men about the preparation of food and clothing, which were new in the world at that time. So this is important. Kayumars is organizing. He's organizing the quilombo. He's just going around organizing things because everything's new. The world is just being born. Everything's been created. So they don't know yet. But Kayumars knows. Seated on his throne, as splendid as the sun, he reigned for 30 years. He was like a tall cypress tree topped by the full moon, and the royal fire shone from him. All right, little pause here. So, I know saying someone's a moon face, like it has a moon face, is not nice in English language. However, in Persian, it is something very beautiful to say to the significant other, or just to somebody that you really think they're gorgeous, because the moon has such a positive connotation in Persian environments. The moon shines during the night, which means there's some light to follow should you be lost in the darkness. And also it's round and almost made of naqre, silver, or almost made of silver. So it's a very positive, positive element to compare anybody to. And then we have the cypress tree. The cypress tree is something you're gonna hear through this poem a lot. And why is that? Because the cypress is a perennial tree. It never withers. It never withers. So that means its power and its might stays the same against all odds. Nothing can harm the cypress tree, and also it's a very tall, very tall tree. Oh, thank you for the follow, Trompeta Jerigo. It's a very tall tree, so that makes it outstand. Have you seen, I invite you to Google the Great Sarv. The Great Sarv is the world's oldest cypress tree and is in Iran. It is huge. Like, we normally think of cypresses, you know, in Europe, we associate cypresses with death and with resurrection because, again, they never wither. But in Iran, they are a symbol of royalty, of power. They are sacred trees. So comparing the first king, the first ever king connected to a natural kingdom to the cypress, you know, it's kind of suitable. You're going to hear that a lot. You're going to, every single time the Shāh-nāmeh wants to emphasize someone is strong, you know, has a constitution of strong, tall, fair character, a cypress tree. Oh, and then we have the Far, spelled F-A-R-R, Far. Far is the glory, is the divine glory, the power bestowed upon the kings that gives them the legitimacy to reign, the right to reign, the divine right to reign. And there's two characters in the Shāh-nāmeh that can grant that. And the first one, of course, is God. Like, of course, like God. And the second one, it's the Morg. But yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry. So when someone has the Far, that means they're guaranteed by divine order to rule. Is their right, is the divine right to rule. But Far could be lost. It's not something that you just have on you, like a freckle. No, you can have it, but you can lose it. So you need to live up to it. You need to live up to the expectations because God has put the Far on top of your head and he expects, you know, something back, something in return, as in like a good kingdom, so like that. Kayumars does though. We love Kayumars. Okay, I'm gonna continue. This is so beautiful. All the animals in the world, wild and tame alike, reverently paid homage to him, bowing down before his throne, and their obedience increased his glory and good fortune. So all the animals, just imagine, do you remember the first scene of The Lion King with the circle of life? All the animals in the world bowing to Kayumars, not to Simba. I mean, Simba is cool, but Kayumars, come on. So every single animal, every single creature in existence bows to Kayumars and recognizes him as the true leader. So beautiful. And this is interesting because that marks that in this moment, animals and humans were alike. They were exactly the same and they lived together in harmony. Yay! In the top of the mountain. One day I will discuss this in like the symbolism of the mountain. Some friends know already that I am obsessed with them, but yeah, not today. Moving on, he had a handsome son who was wise and eager for fame, like his father. His name was Siamak, and Kayumars loved him with all his heart. The sight of his son was the one thing in the world that made him happy, and his love for the boy made him weep when he thought of their being separated. So Siamak is another great character. We really like Siamak. I do like Siamak a lot. He is, again, the son of Kayumars, and we are saying here, like, he's a wise man, he's a fine man, and yeah, we like him. It's like a very nice prince. But the plot thickens. Siamak grew into a fine young man, and he had no enemies except for Ahriman, who was secretly jealous of his splendor and looked for ways to humble him. Who's Ahriman? Make way for Zoroastrianism. So, Ahriman is the devil. Ahriman is the dark spirit, is the corruption, it's chaos. So, again, Zoroastrianism. Back in my day, like back in the very, very beginning of everything in Zoroastrian legends, there were two elements. One was Ahura Mazda, who is the great creator, and then we have Ahriman, which is the opposite, is chaos. please take under account Zoroastrianism is such an antique religion. It's very, very, very old. Thank you for the follow. It's very old. So back in the closer to its original stages, it was not about the clash between bad and good, about the confrontation of two sides, but it was closer to, you know, an establishment of order against chaos, more as like a convivence of the two concepts instead of one being superior to the other. However, with the influence of monotheistic religions, especially Judaism and Christianity, Zoroastrianism changed, and then when the Islam came, it just finished, you know, its evolution. And by the end of Zoroastrianism, and when I mean the end, it's not that it's finished, but by the end of its real popularity around the 6th, 7th, 8th century in Middle Ages, we can see the text and the liturgy has been oriented towards more like a evil versus righteousness than order against chaos. And in the top of chaos, the representative of all this mess is Ahriman. So yeah, Ahriman is the devil. Ahriman had a son who was like a savage wolf. The wolf. Any fan of wolves here? You're not gonna like them in the Shāh-nāmeh. The wolf has such a negative connotation for Zoroastrianism, and these carried onto the Shāh-nāmeh. Do you see what I mean when it's just the first page and we have so much information about, I'm really sorry, Lucas, so much information about Zoroastrian beliefs and folklore in just the first page of my book. So why is the wolf such a noble creature for other mythologies so evil? Because it hunts at night. And everything belonging to the night in Zoroastrianism belonged to Ahriman. And also, wolves are very cruel and they shed their skins, which is not a symbol for being trustworthy. So, yeah, anything remotely compared to a wolf is bad. They don't like wolves. And you know, night creatures are no positive seen in the Shāh-nāmeh. No, wolves, owls, other birds. I'm really sorry for wolf fans over there. So, really sorry, because I like wolves, they're cute, but not in the Shāh-nāmeh. So, we have, to do a recap, we have Kayumars, who has a son. Kayumars is the king of the mountain. And then we have Siamak, which is Kayumars' son. And then we have Ahriman, who also has another son, the wolf guy. It's not that the son is actually a wolf himself. No, it's like a wolf, it's compared to a wolf. And he's jealous of Siamak. Ahriman had a son who was like a savage wolf. These fearless youth gathered an army together, spread sedition throughout the world, and prepared to attack the king. Kayumars was unaware of these machinations, but the angel Sorush appeared before Siamak in the guise of a magical being swathed in a leopard skin and told him of the plots against his father. Sorush. Sorush is another Zoroastrian character. So actually, Sorush's name is Sraosha, and Sraosha is a Yazata. Yazata is a deity from Zoroastrianism who is worth of being worshipped. And in this case, Sraosha is the Yazata of obedience. It was so important, it was so much importantly ingrained in the common thought that he was transferred to Islam and converted into an angel. And this angel has a role of, you know, like a protective role upon humanity. He takes care of kings, he takes care of humans, you know, he's like the messenger of God. I want to emphasize this. Sraosha was, I'm going to call him Sorush because this is the way it's in modern Persian, but Sorush is a very important character, and again, he's a Zoroastrian deity. Zoroastrianism doesn't have angels, so don't call him Zoroastrian angel. It's not, no concept does not exist. It's Zoroastrian Yazata. Here is an angel because, again, this is a Muslim book. Can you see my point? This is a Muslim book written by a Muslim author under a Muslim rule. It's full with Zoroastrian legends and there's no problem with it. There's no problem. In fact, remember, this is a container of the Persian Iranian identity. And they include all of these because they felt that these were part of who they were. These legends, these beliefs, although they belonged in the past, but they carried on to Islam because they were so tightly attached to the common folklore, to the common thought. Are you following me with this? How cool is this book? So many things. Oh my God, really sorry. I'm carrying out this. I'm driven. So yeah, Saroush goes alert Siamak, and then Siamak, yeah, he's not happy. He's not happy bunny until when he knows. Sorry, he's not happy bunny when he knows that a plot is being machinated against his father. So what Siamak does is gathers an army together as well, and this is important, there was no armor at the time, and the prince dressed for war in leopard skin. It's not a good choice. The two armies met face to face, the demons and then Siamak. Siamak strode forward to attack, but there's always a but in this book. The black demon sunk his claws into the prince's unprotected body and stretched the noble Siamak in the dust. Now in the dirt he laid, the king's son low, clawed at his gut and struck the fatal bow. So like the claws. So perished Siamak, a demon's hand, left leaderless his people and his land. There's like, from time to time, there's like bits of poetry translated. So Siamak is dead. And this is actually a very sad part, okay? It's very, very sad. It's extremely, it's very painful. When the king Kayumars heard of his son's death, because remember, Kayumars had no idea this was going on. Like, Saroush alerted Siamak, and Siamak went to war against the demons, but Kayumars had no idea. He did not know what was happening. He just knew his son had been killed by a demon. When the king heard of his son's death, his world darkened with sorrow. He descended from the throne, weeping and beating his head, and scoring his royal flesh in an agony of distress. His face was smeared with blood, his heart was in mourning, and his days were filled with sorrow. The army was arrayed before the king, and a cry of grief went up from its ranks. Everyone wore blue as a sign of mourning. Okay, blue. When they say blue, we need to imagine a very dark shade of blue, as in indigo, powerful blue. And that is a color of mourning in Iranian lands, in Iranian folklore as well. Some sort of like the shade I'm wearing on my nails right now, but nothing like this. Not of these like nice light blue. No, it's like a dark blue. All the animals, wild and tame alike, and all the birds of the air gathered and made their way weeping and crying to the mountains. And the dust sent up by the throng of mourners hovered the air above the king's court. This is heartbreaking. Like, the whole world is mourning the death of Siamak, who was such a fine prince and a fine leader, and a beloved son to his father. So, I like the Shāh-nāmeh for a number of reasons, and one of them is because the characters are extremely, extremely human, sometimes to, extremes. But Kayumars is just devastated. He just lost his son. And the poem transmits this in a very beautiful, yet heartbreaking, distressing way, explaining how every single creature in creation cried with his king because they were mourning the death of Siamak. It is very sad, yet is very beautiful, at least to me. But it's sad though. I don't like this passage that much. I actually don't like it. They mourned for a year. A year crying. Could Just imagine a year of your life. Have you been that sad ever that you spent a year of your life depressed and in darkness because you lost somebody? Until the glorious Soroush, we have here Soroush coming to a rescue. My husband mentioned that this is the first death from war. Yes, exactly. The world is new, but Butcherpuff. Sorry, it's a little difficult name to pronounce. Butcherpuff is correct. The world is new. So up to this point, there were no confrontation, there were no battles, there were no fights. And then Siamak passes away. And it's not a nice death. It's not someone just, traversed his heart and he instantly dies. The black demon rejoices himself with the dead. He just clenches the neck of Siamak and just stretches him around the place and just cuts his skin and just shreds him to pieces because he's enjoying it. It's brutal. It's the first time creation ever witnesses something like that. Sorry, moving on. Where was I? Oh, Soroush. Soroush coming to a rescue. Soroush brought a message from God saying, Kayumars, weep no more, but be of sound mind again. Get it together. You are king of the world. Come on. Gather an army together and fight against this malevolent demon. As if you dared to say no to Soroush. The king turned his weeping face toward the heavens and prayed to the great God that the evil strike those who think evil. Like this, we're having some rules here. Evil is not accepted. Cruelty is not acceptable. Then he prepared to avenge the death of Siamak. Neither sleeping at night, nor pausing to eat in the day. We are getting the job done. Ponte pa esto. And then we are introduced another character, which actually we like. Is a nice character. The great Siamak had a son, Hoshang, who acted as his grandfather's advisor, a young advisor. But he was very smart. The splendid youth seemed compounded of intelligence and courtliness. So we have a very nice prince here. Again, he is Kayumars' grandson. Kayumars lovingly brought him up as his own son, because Hoshang reminded him of Siamak and he had eyes for no one else. So yeah, Hoshang wakes up one morning fatherless and is the grandfather who takes care of him. When Hoshang's heart was set on war and vengeance, Kayumars summoned him and laid before him his plans and secrets. So, getting ready for battle here. Kayumars said, I shall gather an army together and raise a cry of lamentation in the demons' ranks. We're gonna make them suffer. Ooh. You must command these warriors, since my days are numbered, and you must be the new leader. This is important. It's a very short sentence, but here, Kayumars is designating an heir. He's appointing Hoshang as the next king, and somehow he's passing the far on to him. So he will be the next king. Then, this passage, hear me out. Are you a fan of fantasy novels? I'm a big consumer of fantasy content. Just imagine this as a battle on the epic Middle Earth, because every single magical creature here is going to war against the demons. Listen, the army, hear me out. He gathered together fairies, the Paris, you remember, I mentioned the Paris in the last stream. Fairies, which I don't like, by the way, I'm going to say Paris. Paris, leopards, lions, savage wolves, fearless tigers, birds, domestic animals, and this army, of course, men and women, and this army was led by the intrepid young prince, Hoshang. Dude, even the sheep go to war. Even the donkey, the camels and the sheep go to war. Even the birds, the goddamn robins and the goddamn sparrows go to war. Can I have some epic music? No, because copyright. But yeah, it is a very amazing battle scene. Kayumars was in the rear because, Kayumars is an old man. He's reigned enough and he's, very heartbroken. But he's not up for the task anymore. He's like, Kayumars is not he's not a fighting spirit. He's a leader, he's a commander. But yes, some wars, because again, the wars are of negative connotation, but Kayumars is the king of the natural world. Every single creature paid homage to him and obeys him. Where am I? I'm sorry, I got carried away. Are you being carried away? Just you and your houses, go play the March of the Ents towards Isengard. Just play Rohan's theme. I don't know, the March of the Witch Hunters from Wicked. What else do we have? Skull and Crossbones from Pirates of the Caribbean is also a tune. I don't know. You know your own personal taste. Even the soundtrack of Attack on Titan, if you have it. Yeah, so we said that Kayumars was in the back, and Hoshang. Hoshang is the one who's like, you know, pumped up because, hey, these demons kill his dad. He is gonna burn his father. The black demon came fearless forward, and the dust of his forces rose into the heavens. But the king's fury and the wild animals' magnificence rendered the demon's claws harmless. When the two groups met, the demons were defeated by the animals. Like, just imagine animals going into battle and just beating the crap out of demons. Leopards, wolves, sheep, any kind of bird. This is epic. This is epic. Like a lion, Hoshang caught the black demon in his grip, cleaving his body in two and severing his monstrous head. Like, so long, sucker! Sorry. Woo! He laid him low in the dust and flayed his wretched body of his skin, like phew, like peeling a banana with peeling the black deep. When Kayumars, you know, victory. Da, 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 da. Yeah, the good characters have won. However, this is a bittersweet ending, because when Kayumars had achieved the vengeance he desired, his days came to an end, and the world was deprived of his glory. So the moment Kayumars saw his son Siamak avenged, he decided to pass away. This is something mythical kings can do. Kings in the Shāh-nāmeh, especially like the very early mythical ones, can die two ways. Either they are killed, like Siamak, or they decide to finish their existence, because they understand there's nothing more they could contribute with to the world. So they decide to leave. Sort of like a Jedi form. It's like they consider everything to be terminated. And to be fair, Kayumars has suffered enough, so he leaves. He leaves this world, and again, Hoshang is a designated heir. We have another bit of poetry here. You will not find another who was known the might of Kayumars and his great throne. The world was his while he remained alive. He showed men how to prosper and to thrive, but all this world is like a tale we heard. Men's evil and their glory disappeared. I am not a nice poetry reader, but I'm doing what I can, so just bear with me. So, Kayumars is gone, but we start the reign of Hoshang. Hoshang is king now. The just and prudent Hoshang was now master of the world, and he set the crown on his head and ruled in his grandfather's place. He's gonna make grandpa proud. You go, kid. You go in places. He already smacked a demon. I'm like, I don't know, how old is Hoshang when he did this? I don't actually know, but he's young and he's already beheaded the black demon. I think it's going to be okay. Again, have I mentioned how much we like Hoshang? Well, you're about to discover why we like him so much. He reigned for 40 years, and his mind was filled with wisdom, his heart with justice. Sitting on the royal throne, he said, "From this throne, I rule over the 7 climes, and everywhere my commands are obeyed." What are the 7 climes? The 7 climates. Zoroastrianism. Again, when we say 7 climates, you don't need to imagine 7 different weathers, as in sunny, rainy, foggy, like today. No, The 7 climes, it's a way, a very ancient Zoroastrian way of dividing the world. It's like 7 areas which have Iran in the middle, like Iran, not the country, but something like Iran in the middle, and then orbitating around the 6 other places. The names are super complicated. I'm not going to dive into it here, but if you're interested, I could do a live stream about this some other occasion. You let me know. And yeah, so this is a way of saying I rule basically over the whole world. Like the whole world is my oyster. I just rule upon everything because I am, you know, as my grandfather was, king of the mountain now. Mindful of God's will, he set about establishing justice. Hoshang is the justice boy. He helped the world flourish and fill the face of earth with this just rule. One day, every great story starts with this. One day the king was riding toward the mountains with a group of companions when, dun, 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 when something long and black suddenly appeared. Its 2 eyes were like bowls of blood affixed to its head, and smoke billowed from its mouth, darkening the world. What do you think it is? Let me know. Hoshang considered carefully, then grasped a rock and flung it with all his royal strength at the beast, which flickered aside like phew, so that the rock struck against stony ground and shattered. From the collision of the 2 stones, a spark leaped out. Sorry, a spark, yeah. A spark leaped out, and the rock's heart glowed with fire. Oh, thank you for the follow. And from that time forth, men prayed toward fire. Boom! The establishment of the sacred fire. Again, people, this is a Muslim book written by Muslim authors, and they are recognizing fire as the most sacred creation on earth, something we should be turned towards when we pray, and reverence as the most sacred boon. The ultimate gift of creation is fire. Again, Zoroastrianism, have you guys been into a fire temple? Because I have the pleasure of being in many different ones. Shout out to the temple in Yazd. The beauty of that temple. So, yeah, Hoshang just discovered fire and recognized it as the most sacred element in the world. And here says, let me, wait, I'm gonna read it again, just in case you were not paying attention. I went down the toy. Just a moment. This is what happens when I got carried away. Oh, here. From that time forth, Hoshang gave thanks to God that he had given this gift of fire, and from that time forth, men prayed toward fire. How important is Zoroastrian folklore to Iranians that this happens? And we continue. But wait, there's more. We continue here. When night came, Hoshang and his companions made a mountain of fire and encircled it. They had a feast that night and drank wine. The feast was named Sadeh and is Hoshang's legacy to us. So Sadeh is a real festivity in Iranian and Persian-speaking lands until today. I haven't celebrated it, but I knew it existed. Sadeh is such an important festivity, and because there's, the book also collects when all these festivities were created, and this was the first one. And you see here, people are partying, they're partying hard, they're drinking wine. There is no problem with that. There is no problem with partying and drinking wine. I am not making things up, I am just reading. So yeah, isn't this amazing? Am I the only one who's driven? Could be. You don't need to get excited as I do, but I think it helps deliver the message. So important. This book is magnificent. yeah, you know, they party. Like, party rock is in the mountain tonight. Everybody's gonna have a good time. Everybody is thrilled with Hoshang's discovery. After, like, you know, everyone's partying. This is the thing. Like, everyone's partying hard and enjoying themselves. And Hoshang is still, you know, you can hear the gears on his mind, like, because he's still thinking of ways of making his creation even better. So we carry on. Then Hoshang took ore in his fist, and with fire he separated iron from his rocky home. This is the way he created the blacksmith craft, fashioning maces, axes, saws, hatchets, and, you know, tools in general. They just discovered metallurgy. Boom. Boom, mama. Boy, they have weapons now. Careful with that. Then he turned his attention to irrigation, bringing water from lakes to the plains by means of channels and canals, and so using his royal far to lessen men's labor. He's just helping creation to develop so fast. In this way, he increased the land available for agriculture and the harvest. They just learned how to cultivate the fields. And so that each man could grow grain for his own bread and now the fruits of his own toil. Hoshang used this God-given royal authority, I mean the far, to separate animals into those that are wild and can be hunted, like onaga and deer, and those suitable for domestic use, like cows, sheep, and donkeys. So here we have again, Hoshang, you know, humanity is developing such a fast pace that Hoshang realizes the natural world and the city world cannot live together, and they cannot interrupt natural cycle that much. So he just separates animal and, you know, arranges them to make things easier for humankind. And then he killed animals with fine pelts, like foxes and ermine, the soft squirrel, the sable, whose fur is so warm, and had fine clothes made from them. Hoshang toiled and spread justice and consumed his due of the world's good. And then he departed, leaving behind nothing but his good name. In this time he struggled mightily, planning and inventing innumerable schemes, but when his days were at an end, for all his sagacity and dignity, he departed. The world will not keep faith in you, nor will she show her true face. So, now basically you have it, yeah, he's a hard-working leader. He is a working person. So basically you see it again. So whenever the king considers his job is done, he leaves, he departs. And now we're gonna enter with the last character we're gonna meet today. We are going with Tahmures. Da-da-da-da-da-da. The binder of demons. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Another T-pause. So as I pause for a moment, are you guys following the story properly? Am I delivering the message properly? Do you guys enjoy these kind of things? Let me know. I want your feedback. I want to know if I am managing to get you the commentary and also the story itself, and if it's not confusing or anything, let me know. I want to improve myself. Oh, I'm really happy you're enjoying it. I am enjoying it so much. As you can see, like, I need costume. I need costume for these. I need a beard and some fake leopard skin, because we don't kill animals in here. I need to get myself a nice fake leopard skin. Just for this. Just to wrap myself around it and read the Shāh-nāmeh to you guys. Like it, links you make to a symbol in the book, or there are things in Torah. Thank you. Any Iranians on the chat? Because that will be so much pressure. I'm understanding things a little more with the commentary. Yeah, I know. Again, you need to... This is not me calling you dumb. This is a book you need to know how to read. It's not just a... Oh God, there's a half person in the room. Oh my God, the pressure. Ah! Ooh, okay. Ooh, phew. Oh my God, I'm not going to say your name. I'm not going to say your name, but I know who you are. Oh my God, this is such a big honor. I'm really happy enjoying it. Oh God, oh I see. It's getting hot in here. The pressure though. Guys, we have an Iranian person with us now. I'm just going to jump through the window and let, you know, NATO follow the rest. Oh my days. All right, I'm trying to, ooh, all right, let's go, Tahmures. So yeah, Tahmures. We like Tahmures, okay? We like him, although you're gonna see he's a little bit different from his ancestors. He has like fuego, he has fire in his soul. He's such a temper. Glare. So, Hoshang had an intelligent son, Tahmures, who was called the Binder of Demons, which is such a cool nickname, if you ask me. He sat on his father's throne and swore to preserve the customs his father had instituted. He called his wise counselors to him and spoke eloquently with them. All right, before continuing, you are seeing a pattern here. Every time the character is considered positive, like a king or a descendant of the king, they are everything. Yeah, they're just it. They're on point. They're smart, they're intelligent, they are eloquent, and what else? Yeah, fine, they're beautiful, they're handsome, they have everything. Just like on it. Okay, so Tahmures gathered the counselors and said, "Today the throne and crown, the treasury and army are mine. With my wisdom, I shall cleanse the world of evil. I shall restrict the power of demons everywhere and make myself Lord of the world. Whatever is useful in the world, I will reveal and make available to mankind." A little bit full of yourself, aren't you, Tahmures? So we can consider Tahmures a positive character, a little bit, you know, a little bit too boasty about himself, but actually he means well. He wants, as again, he wants to find whatever is useful in the world and make it available for mankind. So yeah, he wants to continue the legacy of his relatives by spreading wisdom and inventing more things in order to make humankind existence more pleasant. But he's fire, he's pumped, baby, he's going places. Let me tell you, these boys going places. Then he shed sheep and goats and spun their wool into fibers from which he fashioned clothes. He also taught men how to weave carpets. All right, he just invented textiles, which up to this point, you know, in the previous kingdoms and the previous reigns, they just wore animal skins. Now you have fabric, because they know how to weave. Yay! And not just clothes, but tapestries and carpets, so they can make their homes nice and cozy. So yeah, you go, Tahmures. Also, he had flocks fed on grass, straw and barley, and from among wild animals he selected, this is so cool, I love this passage so much. So he selected the lynx and the cheetah, bringing them in from the mountains and plains and confining them to train them as hunters. He also chose hawks and falcons, and hens and roosters, who crow at dawn, and showed men how to tame these birds by treating them well and speaking gently to them. You go, Tahmures. You go. Oh, the chat just disappeared for some reason. Don't worry, guys. I'm pretty sure we'll come back soon. So, Tahmures just brought the animals from the wilderness to help and serve mankind. And he delivers a powerful message. He says that we should protect the natural world and we should speak gently to animals because they are working for us. Yes, exactly. And this is the thing, right? So back in the day, it was very common to have wild animals kind of trained with you to hunt with you, especially cheetah and leopards and lions. So this is the king that kind of establishes it. What else? Oh, also he invents falconry because he brings eagles and falcons to hunt. And yeah, again, you need to treat well these creatures because they're creatures of God and they should be respected and treated gently. and lovingly. And don't we agree with him? I do agree with him. What else? Oh, he brought out the hidden virtues of things, and the world was astonished with its innovations. He said that men should praise God, who had given mankind sovereignty over the earth's animals. So, can you hear Tahmures? Could you be a little louder, please? He's saying God has warranted humans with sovereignty over animals. They actually, we are superior to animals because we have the ability to think. Sometimes one may think. And because of that, it is our responsibility. He says here, this is our responsibility to treat the natural world properly, to take care of it, to respect it. I am hurting myself because you cannot imagine how heavy this is. Tahmures, you need to be heard, boy. Air. The Spanish flamenca living in me is just popping out. So, oh, this is also a favorite part of mine. I'm not entering any controversy here, but again, I am not hiding my preferences, and I have my ships. I have my ships inside this book, and I ship this. Tahmures had a noble vizier named Shāh-nāmeh, a man whose thoughts avoided all evil and who was universally praised. He's a nice guy, he's a very good guy, like a gentle soul, a pure heart. Fasting by day and praying by night, he was the king's star of good fortune. Oh, Aziz man, like, come on. They seem like very good friends, if you know what I mean. Come on, call someone he was the king's star of good fortune. Aziz man. Hoshang. Oh god. Melin and Arthur. Yeah. Yeah. Shāh-nāmeh wished the king's reign to be just, and he guided him in righteous paths, so that Tahmures lived purified of all evil, and the divine fire emanated from him. I ship it. It's not canonical, nothing is implied here, absolutely nothing, but I ship it. Se va al barco. Oh, the king, this is super important here. The king, Tahmures, bound Ahriman by spells and sat on him, using him as a mount to which to toll the world. Like, Tahmures Walter was on top of Ahriman's back. He rode Ahriman like a horse because he's a magician, he's a sorcerer. If you were here with me on the live stream I did about magic, if you haven't watched that video, I recommend you to go and watch it. Just give it a look, because it's important to remember that magic is considered either evil or beneficial depending on who uses it. And in here, Tahmures uses magic to bind the demons. This is a powerful king. Yes, you go. When the demons saw, you know, Tahmures on top of Ahriman riding around the world, many of them gathered in groups and murmured against him, saying the crown and the fire were no longer his. Why? Because this is excessive. Tahmures had no need for doing this. It was just, he's just showing off. And this is not something that goes along the fire. It could be dangerous, because remember, fire could be lost. You can lose it. You can, it's not you misplace it, but God can take it away from you. Like, but Tahmures learned of their sedition and attacked them, breaking their rebellion. He girded himself with God's glory and lifted his heavy mace onto his shoulders, ready for battle. Again, we're going for it. All the demons and sorcerers came together in a great army, with the black demon as their leader, and their roars ascended to the heavens. But Tahmures suddenly confronted them, and the war did not last long. This is actually very fun. 2/3 of the demons he subdued by spells, and the other third he's by his heavy mace. Like, others, like 2 of them are, you know, hold hostage and captured, and the other third is like, and yeah, they're gone. Bye bye. He dragged them wounded and in chains in the dust, and they plead for their lives, saying, "Don't kill us. We can teach you something new and highly profitable." Thank you for the follow. Do you guys remember the live stream when we talked about magic, that magic could be learned from demons? The king granted them their lives on condition, cuidado, on condition, I'm lost. Okay, on condition that they reveal their secrets to him. And when he had freed them from their chains, they had no choice but to obey him. Guys, the moment, this is such a notorious occasion. This is such a momentous occasion. They taught the king how to write. And his heart glowed like the sun with his knowledge. Something as powerful and as important like writing for Iranian/Islamic culture comes from the demons, because everything can be used for a good reason. The world just discovered writing, and they did not teach him just one script, but almost 30, including the Western, as in the languages that we speak, Latin and stuff, Arab, Persian, and then ways of writing like Sogdian, Chinese, Pahlavi, showing him how the letters are formed and pronounced. How different is the world now that they discovered writing? Books can be created, accounting could be started, bureaucracy, songs can be written, spells and magic could be delivered, things could be taught. Teachers are created right now. This is such an important moment in the Shāh-nāmeh. Sorry, again. Oh my god. Yeah, am I making a fool of myself? I don't know. For 30 years, for 30 years, the king performed these and all the noble actions. Then his days were at end, and he departed. And the memory of his struggles was his memorial. And we're going to stop right here. Okay, guys, this was it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. I really hope you enjoyed it, that you have a tiny taste of all the marvelous stories that are contained here in the Book of Kings. I did my best. I am not the best storyteller, but I'm passionate about this book and about everything that this means. And I could not wait to share it with you because it's so important. These contains what was considered to be Iranian identity back in the 11th century. Remember, this book is finished in 1010. And of course, things change, and you know how translation can modify things and stuff. But the essence is here. I didn't make anything up. I just read to you what this contained. Tell me it's not cool. Zoroastrianism is so ingrained in every page. And then writing comes from demons. And demons, like the Deves and the demons, recognize there's just not one language, but many worth being learned. I don't have words. At least they're not in English. Oh my god. And then you have this like beautiful moments like when they just like the king loses his song, and then you have this parting, and then Sadeh is invented, and then boy, I love this book so much. It's even like infuriating, but you know when something is so good that is infuriating? This is what happens with this book. What is that? I find it so interesting the writing comes from demon. That's really cool. Yes, I know, and magic is allowed. And right, so what a ride. I enjoyed this tremendously. You have no idea how happy this made me. If you demons are good for something. Everybody's good for something sometimes. So yeah, this is the stream for today. I'm actually gonna, you know, share your thoughts with me. I need some water. You know, as we are saying goodbye, thank you to all the new people in here, everybody that clicked followed. If this is the first time you find anything remotely similar to this, let me introduce myself. My name is Laura. I am an art historian and PhD student, and in this tiny corner of the internet, I talk about Iranian and Mesopotamian cultures. And today we dealt with the best book ever written. Not the most beautiful though, because in my heart, the most beautiful thing ever written is the poem called Lugalbanda. We will talk about that. But this is the best book ever written. I really like it, and this was a tiny taste of what being, what the Iranian, being in contact with Iranian culture means. I don't know why I'm smashing the book, but I am. And thank you so much to everybody that clicked followed. If you want to support me, you can subscribe to the channel. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can do it too. Just like click and subscribe by Amazon Prime, and you don't have to pay for that. Also, you can find me in social media, you know, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. I always forget that I have Instagram, yeah. And thanks so much to my patrons, to all my patrons, my Murshid patrons especially. Thank you so much for supporting me. If you want to take a look at my Patreon, just, you know, feel free to. I'm enjoying these sessions a lot. I wish to join the adventure and continue discovering with me so many of the things about Iranian culture and Mesopotamian culture. And yeah, if you guys don't have any questions or anything you'd like to add, I think this is us for today. Anything you want to say? This is your turn now. Just want to drink water. Okay, so one more time before we depart to our different ways. Thank you. Those were 2 words. I am very, that makes me very happy, and yeah, I hope I made Iranian culture shine as beautifully as it should. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you want to keep up with this, you know the streams on English are on Monday, every Monday 6 p.m. British summertime, and we will see each other on Friday if you want to come to the Spanish streams as well, because maybe you speak Spanish and English like I do. And yeah, thank you so much for coming, guys, and have a brilliant and very nice week, and you know, as always, stay safe and be very happy. Be very, very happy. Bye guys, see you next time.